Hello everyone, and welcome to part 3 of my Q&A series. And so for this part, I'm going to be discussing Finding Dory. And for Finding Dory is the second book to the Paid Mother series. And in this Q&A, I'm going to talk about how I came up with the idea, characters, supporting characters, my favorite and important scenes, and themes that I found in the book that I found interesting that I want to talk about, and scenes that didn't make it into the book, and also my overall thoughts in the book. So just for a quick synopsis of the Finding Dory, it says, it seems everyone in Max's family has moved on and forgotten about Jackie, but not Max. He would do anything to get his family back together. Max still believes that Jackie's out there waiting for him, and he will do whatever it takes to reunite her with his dad. So in this book, kind of jumping off from the first book, which is The Paid Mother, Jackie left. And Kevin, he was having a heart surgery. And so it picks off years later, I think like 16 or 17 years later. And Max is a high schooler. So for this book, I always knew it was going to be called Finding Dory when writing it, because just given the fact that, Max's nickname for Jackie is Dory. And so I knew that in my mind, I didn't know how she was going to leave, but I knew Jackie was going to leave. And so Max really loves Jackie, and they built a family bond, a son and mother bond. And so when she left, it's like his mom just left. So I knew that I wanted the second book to be centered around him looking for her, and just about his family and the dynamics of that, and the relationship with Jackie and Kevin as well. What else can I say about how I started the book? Yes, I also wanted in the second book too to be about Max's point of view and have him be the star and have a shine, because in the first book was mostly about his father and Jackie and their relationship. And although in the second book I do talk about that as well, I wanted Max, since he is also the core in the book and is also part of, you can say, like the triangle in terms of like the family and things like that. I wanted him to have a say as well in his thoughts and his feelings. In writing this book, I was worried about whether, how to write in the mind of a teenage boy, how to write in the mind of just a teenage boy. And it wasn't that difficult, because when I was writing it, I did recently graduate high school at the time. So in terms of writing his high school experience, and also have other friends and guy friends as well, it was easier in that aspect to write. But writing about how a guy thinks and guy friendship and things like that, I feel like that was difficult. I hope that I pulled it off well. I want to say I did, since you guys are reading it, and it seems to be okay. What else? I think that's really it in terms of how I came up with the idea. So now I'm just going to go into characters. For Max, he's 18 now, senior in high school, going to graduate soon. And with Max, his world has basically been upside down since Jackie's left. Jackie left without saying anything. That's a big turn. And then his dad was in the hospital for a heart surgery, and just he had to be there for his dad to recover. And he's just a young boy, he's like 7 at the time where Jackie left, and his dad was in surgery for life or death. And so, everything was just thrown at him, and he had to grow very quickly. And since this takes place like 17 or 16 years later, Max has become very, he's not the cute, sweet, innocent little boy he was before in the first book. Now he's grown, he's more mature. He's all about loyalty and being there for his friends and family. And he also takes pride in like honesty as well. So for Max, what else can I say? Also, too, for Max, you see him grow on his own in terms of he's more confident, because, before he didn't have any friends, and it was Jackie who helped him grow and be more expressive. So he's also more expressive, more involved. He has more friends. more outgoing, more spoken. He's not the shy, quiet, yes, dad, yes, sir type of little boy he was before, and letting people just run up on him. He takes responsibility for the things he says, but he's still a kid. He's still a teenager. He still makes mistakes. With Max, one thing that as I was writing, that I was afraid of is his love for Jackie to be obsessive, and that's why in some chapters, I have his friends or people calling him out saying, all you do is talk about Jackie, which I felt like he kind of did in most of the chapters. So, and so, looking for Jackie, memories of Jackie, things like that. Everything was about Jackie, which is understandable because this is the woman that basically raised him and treated him like, a son, which he never had that feeling before. So, so I felt like I was, because he's still a teenage boy, and I didn't want him in his search for Jackie to overshadow everything else. So in the Finding Dory series, Max is really the only reasonable, truthful person, And in this book, Kevin is he has a girlfriend now. He's going to get remarried, and he has a new step brother and things like that. And Max is the only one that, calls a spade a spade. Like, I don't like where this is going. This is not the family that I wanted or that I dreamt of or I was going to get when Jackie was still there. Also with Max, what I loved about, I guess how you can say how he changed and things like that is that, he's very ambitious and very prideful, and, he's just so, and I guess you could say he got that from Jackie, just all about being together and unity and, family and, group and, tribal, I guess you can say. And so, he searches throughout his whole life for 16 to 17 years, I don't remember the exact number, searching for Jackie. Looking for Jackie, because looking for Jackie for him is like looking for family, looking for love, looking for someone to take care of him, which he did not grow up with. And Jackie was the one who gave that to him. What else? Yeah, so he spent most of his life looking for her. Also, after Jackie left, Kevin was heartbroken with that, so they moved out, and so that was another big turn of events for him, moving out the home that he calls home, that has memories of Jackie, and his father moving on to another woman, and that's another big thing that happened with Max. In terms of supporting roles, so Max, well, I get to that later about his friends, but that's about Max. Okay, so Kevin, in this series, he was going through a big change in his life, which was having a failed heart after the fight that he had with Volo, his enemy, trying to save Jackie, things like that. He got shot. And so because of that, the bullet, hit one of his arteries, and it was just very hard for his heart to continue to pump blood throughout his body. So his heart was failing him, so he had to get a heart transplant. And although I did some research a little bit about it, although you get a heart transplant, it doesn't mean you're perfect forever, or there's still gonna be some health effects or side effects, or something's still gonna be wrong. I mean, you'll be better than you were before, but doesn't mean you're immune to being sick again or your heart failing again. So with Kevin, when Jackie left, Kevin became obsessed with vases. So, so we picked off when we assumed that, Jackie was dead. Kevin, the vase, he thinks that, Jackie died and gave her heart for him, and that the vase symbolizes this is Jackie's ashes. And because of that, he treasures the vase very much, and he keeps it in his office. And he starts collecting vases and artifacts of vases and things like that. So that kind of became a little bit of his obsession and passion. So as the years go on by, every year on Jackie's birthday, or was supposed to be her birthday, he will buy a vase. Also, following Jackie's words, Kevin tries to love again. He tries to move on. He doesn't want to be stuck in the past. And although, yes, he still always will love Jackie and still remembers her, he knew that, I have to move on. Just like with my wife, I don't want to be the same man I was when my wife died. And that's his mentality when he ends up going to be remarried, or meeting Tiffany and falling in love with her. Despite everything, Kevin did really have a genuine bond with Tiffany and really loved her, despite how Max felt towards her. With Kevin, he cut himself from everyone. He doesn't talk to Jackie's family. They moved away, so he just cut himself off from everyone, and it's just about him going to work and then making sure his son is okay. Jackie. So Jackie's story is as I don't know, in Finding Dory, yes, I did leave a flashback. If you guys remember, in the flashback when Kevin was going to get his surgery, two men approached her, and she was afraid, like, I'm about to get jumped or mugged, what's going on? And they threatened her, saying that if she does not come with them or does not agree to never see Kevin again, they're going to take the heart away. And that's the heart that Kevin needs to survive. That's what he needs for the surgery. So, with a very tough decision, Jackie says yes, because, she loves Kevin, she loves Max, and she knew that this was going to be a way for him to survive, even if it meant leaving. So when Jackie leaves, and, they go through the transplant and Kevin survives, when Jackie leaves, she ends up in Russia. And in Russia, she meets Janet, and Janet is the one that orchestrated the whole thing. At that time, Janet was, I did leave little hints that Janet was getting out of jail. I believe towards the beginning of the book, I mentioned with Kevin, he was talking to either Frank or one of his friends, one of his co-workers or something like that, saying, they told him that she's being released, she's getting an early release. So, which was Jackie. She got an Janet. She's getting an early release for, good behavior, things like that. And her sentence was not as bad as Volo's, because, he was a mafia and he did some illegal things. Janet was kind of an accomplice, and she didn't really handle or she didn't do that much illegal things compared to Volo. So, or Volo, y'all know who I'm talking about. So, so she ended up in Russia visiting Janet, and Janet told her, I have a son. And, Jackie was like, what? And so she wanted Jackie to help find her son that she gave up. So Janet, I can't talk about her because I have a separate character. I'm going to talk about her. But anyway, Jackie was supposed to look for Janet's son, finds him, bring him to Russia, and basically be the nanny for him. And the reason is because, Janet knew about Jackie. She knows that Jackie's good with kids, what she's done with Max. So, and she had a big ultimate plan, which was, of course, to get Jackie and Max to go to New York and meet up with Kevin and basically try to steal the company from him, so that way Janet could take over. That's what she ultimately wanted, and that was basically what her son was for. And that was, I'm moving to different characters. Each character has their own story and their own analysis that I'll talk about. But anyway, Jackie, just focus on Jackie. Yeah, so she was supposed to basically raise Alex for X amount of years and take care of him, things like that. I think things that a mother should do, which Janet isn't. And so she takes care of them, and taking care of them, it was very, very, very hard for Jackie, because she was living in a country she didn't know, didn't speak the language. Whether or not she knows Russian, it's up to y'all. I don't know. I haven't thought about that. But whether or not she knows Russian, that's a whole different thing. But so she took care of Alex. Alex was very, moving on to his character. I'll talk about him. Anyway, she takes care of him, and then it comes a time when Jackie is tired, and she's just tired of being pushed around to care of other people's kids. She's taking care of a kid where she has a kid that she loves and adore, and a man that she loves and adore that's in a whole nother country, away from her. and you know she can't see them. In terms of Jackie with the whole military thing, after talking with her father and things like that, you know, she was able to not go through with it and not go. Well, she had the choice of not going, but after the whole Janet thing, she did end up going. She was like, I'm tired of this. She basically ran away, and her dad actually helped her escape from Janet. They knew about what she's been up to and things like that. They helped her escape. That's why when Max goes to go visit Jackie's family to get clues of what she's been up to, you know, he finds the clues of that she's in Lebanon, because they know already. So yeah, so they help her escape, and she decides to work. What did she work as? I don't remember what I said. I think she worked at the hospital for the military. So no, she worked in refugee camps. So her job was to help out refugees and just attend to them, nurse them, help them, and deliver food, things like that for refugees and things like that. So that's what she did for X amount of years, and she worked in orphanage and things like that. And then after that, she with traveling and meeting other people, she created her own company, which is called the Eye to Eye Company, and which is in Arabic. I don't know how to say it, but basically translates to eye and eye. And so in the Middle East and Middle East, that area, you know, that's where she started building up her career in dancing. And dancing also came in hand with her being a performer, being a clown. So that was her outlet, and also a way for her to feel closer to Kevin and Max, because her most well-known story for her dance group is the story that she told Max before she left, or when she was getting ready to go to the military, which is about a little prince who had a father who was a king. He was sad and lonely, and then, you know, he was wishing that he had a mother, and then the fairy comes in and like the fairy and the prince falls in love. The fairy has to go away, and it's up to the prince to get them back together. That little story, you know, she made a performance out of that, and she still does to this day, or in terms of the book. And so that's a very famous story, and that's also the story where Max comes in to find Jackie. You know, when he finds Jackie, he finds her performing the story. And when he sees that, when he's with his friends and he sees her performing, he's like, I know this story. This is my story. This is our story. This is my family story. And so, you know, he sneaks in, becomes a prince, and basically begs, you know, Jackie to come home. And like the story is, you know, he's trying to, like the story is, he's trying to get Jackie and Kevin back together and have his family back together. That is Max's goal in this Finding Dory series. It's just to get Jackie and Kevin and his family back together and live happy ever after. And I guess you can say he gets that happy ever after from his mom, who loves Disney, and his dad, who loves Disney. So she left, and okay, in the next video I'm going to talk about Alexander.